I didn't know who these guys were. I left that deployment and continued on with my life, did a few more deployments, both in the Marine Corps and the Army. It wasn't until somebody told me to read Chris Kyle's book. His stories about how many people he was shooting certainly tracked with the behavior I witnessed and people I knew witnessed down at the Gov Center, which is it's relatively easy to get high numbers like that if you're a little less discriminating. You're fire than say a more professional unit would be. So that's when I kind of learned about Task Unit Bruiser, about Chris Kyle, and then it wasn't until many years later that if someone recommended like Jocko's podcast or book to me, and I put that together and was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" I almost felt like there was like a weird practical joke being played on me by the war. That like all these years later, I'm like having to like. People are telling me like, "Oh, look how great this guy is. These guys are amazing heroes. This whole incredible thing, the paragon of leadership." And I'm just sitting there like, am I living in like an alternate reality? Because this is the exact opposite of my experience.
Well, welcome to the Absurdity Space. I am Forrest Miller. I'm here with Christina Oakes, and it is 92 degrees right now in New York, or something like last I checked a few hours ago. So my head is like swimming. It's hot. It's hot as hell.
Yeah, I hate it. It sucks. It's
I'm
like
so happy
same.
I'm so happy we don't have to worry about climate change anymore, because Trump changed the definition of climate change, so now it's yeah.
What is it? Just changing weather?
No, he pretty much took all references to climate change out of like the National Weather Service. And
so it's like anything that has to do with like black people, they take black out. Basically, they take the DEI whatever out of like stuff. It's like
I guess it's DEI. It's DEI weather or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Like it's so fucking stupid. I'm like, really? I'm like, you're taking black out of an organization that's meant to help black people. That doesn't make any sense.
But that Graham Plattner clip is hilarious because it's so obviously true. That Chris Kyle,
he's made a bunch of stories. He's like, I shot people during Hurricane Katrina. I'm like, what?
Yeah, he said the Bush administration got him to climb the Superdome to snipe out random American civilians that he claimed were looting. And it's like, no, that's not a true statement of something you did. I don't know. Yeah. It is crazy because it's like it's so obviously like fabrications, and it's like I don't know. I never really get it because all these like all of those kinds of people did have a high fucking body count from being in like Iraq and Afghanistan. Of course, it probably was like mostly civilians. You know what I mean? That they were just sniping people out. But it's like I never really get the urge to like lie about it.
Yeah, it's crazy because like I remember when the movie came out with Bradley, I think it was Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
and my sister was big on like defending it. I'm like, but he fucking lied. He lied about so much stuff. He's not a fucking hero.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's like they're trying to every time they try to smear Plattner, it's like he seems even more truthful or like a better candidate.
That's why he can't, because everyone's like, isn't there like, there's still a primary? I'm like, but who could defeat Graham Plattner in the Democratic primary? I mean, I'm like, I cannot tell y'all this, but like Graham Plattner is a perfect candidate for that state. Like, I get it. Tattoo. Iraq War. But like,
I think he's has
like the average normie voter at this point.
I think he has like a lot of stuff to prove that he actually is like a reformed, that he actually is reformed and he's kind of washed the blood off his hands. Like that's my thing about it at this point.
Yeah, because he could be the next Fetterman, or is it James Tallarico is the next Fetterman, or is this guy? I'm really sick and tired of Democrats doing that. I'm like, you can't even criticize John Fetterman's voting record. You just criticize the left over it.
Yeah, or the fact that people. But it's like Barack Obama also endorsed Fetterman. It's like, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's like the whole thing with like with Ashley St. Clair, like a lot of liberals are like, we shouldn't be believing her because she's probably grifting. I'm like, how do you grift on the left?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just not as successful as grifting on it because it's like none of us have any fucking money. Like,
fuck, man, I can't even. But it's just so funny how so many people are like, Ashley St. Clair is not saying anything new. She's not doing this. She's not doing that. I'm like, but here's the thing, though. She's doing the thing that I would want an ex-conservative to do. Disavow her previous views, talk about how she's evolved, advocate for, you know, left-leaning causes, which is what she's been doing. Like, she even said, like, Democratic Party needs more of, like, a Mamdani types and all that. I'm like, damn, girl, remove her names from any, like, conservative, you know, anti-trans book. She's doing all the things that I feel like we should want. Instead of, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens are on our side. I'm like, no, they're not putting in the work yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I find the Ashley St. Clair thing interesting. I'm more as like a spectator of a media spectator, right? Because it's like, I feel like there's a lot of things that, I mean, just in general in politics, it being like the political influencer space, which is pretty new. Like it's, you know, I mean, they've only in the last few years been like creating social media influencers just for politics. Like I feel like in the beginning, a lot of people kind of, it was not as coordinated. Like I feel like towards the beginning of like social media, when people were getting involved, it was like more organic. I mean, probably not. I'm probably
well, remember the chorus thing, and so many people who we knew and loved were like defending the chorus stuff and shitting on Taylor Lorenz. Not gonna name names, but some people who were featured on this platform. But I was like, I'm sorry, but like get that bag, but be upfront about who you're being paid by. Because Taylor Lorenz was like, I'm doing brand deals. I'm doing, like, she was disclosing who she was, you know, being paid by.
I don't think she should have been getting brand deals. But I don't.
No, that's why I agree with that too. But it's just so funny how people were so mad about like being, you know, exposed for like being paid by like Democratic Party organizations and spewing like pro, you know, establishment Democratic Party talking points. I'm like, just be upfront about it that you're getting paid to do this.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things. It's like, I feel like it's like there really is like a lot of money that goes into like a whole bunch of like money that goes into like the right wing version of like an influencer sphere.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know, they've started paying influencers and they're very coordinated about it. And it's like, I get the argument that like, you know, you want to have a democratic version of that, but it's, I don't know. Number one, I just feel like the whole thing is inauthentic, and I guess
just punch left. That's all they do. They're not advocating for anything besides the establishment.
Yeah, but just in general, I'm saying with the media space, like I understand wanting to have a way to coordinate between, or like incubators between like the Democratic Party establishment, I guess, and these influencers, because otherwise you're going to get overwhelmed by, you know, the vast majority of money and of talking points of influencers that are being, you know, kind of thrust upon us. But at the same time, it's like, number one, when the Democratic Party is as unpopular as it is, everybody fucking hates it. And number two, it's like, I don't know, it's like, you know, it's like inauthentic, and I can't like it. I can't, you know, it's like, no, like, I don't know. It's
well,
easy.
Look at Abigail Spanberger. She basically needed she basically needed a sign to tell her, oh, you don't have to do anything. You just have to, you know, just. But again, that's what happens when you allow CIA into the Democratic Party to govern, right? But like after the redistricting thing happened in Virginia, now she's like, ICE can't go into churches and schools and hospitals. We're not going to do drug price controls and all this stuff. And everyone's like, what the hell? I'm like, she needed a sign to just be like, fuck it, I'm not going to do anything. Because now people are pissed. Everyone's mad. I'm like, this is what happens when you govern from the middle. You piss off both sides. But here's what's going to happen. Because it's a thing that we've seen, especially in Virginia. You elect a moderate Democrat. They don't really do a whole lot, right? Only for a MAGA type to take over, right? And then the MAGA governor destroys the state. And then once again, a progressive challenger gets defeated, and then the moderate wins, and the same thing. And I'm like, can we please just get out of this cycle? Like, how many times do we have to go through this cycle? We need a strong far left candidate to win, because at least they want to actually do stuff to help people. Like, people were mad that Chris Rabb won. I'm like, you guys are ops. Have you seen the whole, what people like, you know, those Twitter profiles were saying, like, oh, you know, I hope the Republican wins against Chris Rabb. I'm like, first of all, I don't think there's a Republican running in that very, 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 very
it's the bluest plus. Yeah, it's the bluest in the entire country. I was looking at that earlier. It's like,
I was like, you guys are black, right? Okay, but like, you want black politicians, you support black women, but yet you don't like Summer Lee because DSA, socialist, what? Like, it's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, that is like that's the wall you come into with identity politics, though, right? Like,
yeah,
it's like people are never gonna be honest about the fact that they want people of a certain identity that support the policies they support, not the identity itself. Well, but this is not the identity. It's like not the identity itself. Nobody really like. But then people do identity politics all the fucking time to like, I don't know, to try to shit on other people that they don't like, or like to
it's like they do. like they shit on, like, I've seen, homophobic and anti-Semitic stuff by these same accounts thrown at Matt Bernstein. I'm like, just because you're a person of color does not absolve you from, you're being homophobic, you're being anti-Semitic, you are being bigoted too. That doesn't matter who's doing it, you're still being awful. I just gotta get caught out on it. They're like, but how dare you? But then they're like, well, you're being racist towards me. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just calling you out for being a bigot as well.
But I mean, that is like the thing, right? Identity politics is always kind of been a shield. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know. I wish people would just be honest about things.
I am a white intern using digital blackface on this Twitter account. I want that. I want more of it because it's obvious that's what's going on here.
Sometimes, yeah. I think there's also like people that actually are black that use the same, that are on those accounts. Doesn't really matter though. The politics just suck. Like, have good politics then.
But it was just so weird for them. Like, oh, Chris Rabb, he's gonna be bad. I'm like, how? How is he? Like, I'm sorry, but like, it's like saying with Grand Planner. They're like, it wouldn't be bad if Susan Collins kept her seat. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
I mean, it is definitely
Blue wave this. What the?
It does feel like it's like there's like factions to it, I guess, where it's like now anybody that's kind of on the progressive faction, those people automatically just hate online, like within K Hive or whatever. But they don't even have to say anything.
K Hive, am I right?
But they don't even have to say anything or do anything. Like, it just feels like it's now like this automatic thing.
Yeah, if you're like DSA endorsed, because it's just so funny that some of the most like socialist leaning candidates are not even white. They're all like of color. So it's like when people make jokes about like white leftists or like DSA being white, I'm like, how though? I'm like, some of the best
they're white.
I'm like, there's more to leftist theory than Marx, right? Like James Baldwin, you got the Black Panthers. Like, there's so many people. I'm like, it's part of the reason why so many former white liberals like myself become leftists is because we engage in like Black leftist theory and literature, and we learn, more stuff.
There's a long tradition of it. I mean, it's a long tradition because it's an emancipatory tradition and like a liberation tradition, I guess, in America. Which, I mean, if you're looking at like who are the people who most needed to be, and of course there's also like an accommodationist strain to that, but on the other side, right, like there's like the more establishment, like status quo accommodationist side, and there's like a more emancipatory liberation side. But who in America has needed an emancipation struggle throughout history more than Black people? I mean, I guess Native Americans, and there's a long history of that too. But besides those groups, like, of course, if you're a leftist and you support like radically changing the system, or you support radical thought, like you're going to encounter a lot of like Black theoreticians, because it's like that's who's most needed in emancipation struggle.
Yeah, I'm just so tired of like these people able to get away with like being hypocrites and like but yet the left gets it all the time, and we have to constantly apologize and do this and do that and make up for like a minor mistake. And it's like, you guys are upholding a if you really are not a white intern, you guys are upholding a party and upholding candidates who uphold capitalism and white supremacy. It's not cute. It's not a good look. And the fact that these people hate the idea of like actual like Black representation in the party, I'm like, you don't want 1,000 Summer Lees, and I would like 1,000 of hers. You just made 1 million Summer Lees, but like it just makes no sense to me. Like, you don't want young Black progressive people in the House and the Senate. I wouldn't mind that. And then they were saying that white people were racist for voting for people like Chris Rabb, and I'm like, well, wait. Did you hear yourself right now? You're saying that it's racist for white people to vote for candidates of color.
But Jess says, tired of the double standard where evil people just get away with being evil, but if you're nice and make a mistake. But it's also like evil people don't have to apologize for being evil because they're evil, right? Like it's I mean, I don't know. I think
karma hardly ever comes. I
think the world would be like,
I don't believe it anymore.
A better society when everybody isn't constantly cowed into apologizing. For like, I kind of really don't like the fact that I sometimes I get the vibe from like even like AOC and like Zoran and people, like it's almost like they're embarrassed of being on the left, or they hate being on the left, or they're
because of it. No, because AOC is also very much like online too. So it's like, I don't know. It's just, oh my God, why is my, come on.
It's just very easy to get like AOC to like apologize or backtrack or something if you apply pressure from the right to her. And it's not, I'm not like, I don't know, but
because of fucking like, I hate it, but like online leftist types are the ones. It's like, you guys are making shit worse for us because everyone thinks that the entire left is just Brianna Joy Gray.
Yeah, but like it's not even like the people on the online left that are like, you know, like they're not even the ones that get somebody like AOC or Zoran to apologize. It's like a lot of times it's people from the right. Like they know that, you know, in their district at least, or in their city at least, they have the votes of most people that are on the left that support them. They don't feel the need to respond to that, or even sometimes they don't feel the need to even go on left media and talk to them because they're already left. But then somebody hits them from the right, like Zoran in New York City has been so like he's been so ready to like I don't know, like apologize or call out anti-Semitism to the point where it almost gets to be like, I mean, it's not that it's bad to call it anti-Semitism.
Yeah, especially like with the West Bank selling. I'm like, dude, that's not something you should be apologizing for. I mean, they're selling, you know, proper, like what? No, man. Or like you know, the Luigi Mangionist, you know, oh, they shouldn't. I'm like, come on, seriously.
I like that he wrote Patrick Bet David a letter from prison. Like imagine all the people in the world that you could be writing a letter from prison. Luigi Mangione's like writing Patrick Bet David, being like, I just miss being value-tained.
Yeah, but it's just I'm like in order. I'm like, leftist type, stop apologizing.
Yeah,
stop apologizing.
I hope that having more, like, I always just want, like, if having more people on the left that are in politics, that are in like I just hope at some point it gets easier to just
not have to apologize for every minor little inconvenience. It doesn't even matter. Yeah. Exactly.
Because it just ends up making somebody like me that has like leftist. I like
not
all right,
want to be labeled a leftist and just be annoyed because it's just a blood sport at this point. It's like you know, I'm like, this is like serious stuff that's happening, and we're just making it like a game.
But it just also makes it feel like you're putting yourself, like everybody pretty much is an influencer online, right? Like everybody pretty much that wants to talk about politics. You know, they're like, I don't even know how this like exactly like happened, but everyone, it feels like people that aren't in politics, they're not even representing any kind of organization. They're just people. It's like we now like endorse people as like individuals, endorse candidates, and it's treated like a almost like everybody's a public figure. Or if something happens, they have to give like a statement being like, I disavow this, or like I support that. And it's like, we're just normal civilians, and it almost feels like, I don't know, like it's like you're apologizing for, or you feel like you're kind of being thrown under the bus by the people that you put your, you know, co-signed as. Like, I know that's not like, it doesn't really matter, but
that's why I ignore whenever I have something that goes viral. I don't even like really look at like the comments and stuff, because half the time it's just idiots saying weird stuff, and I'm just like, where did you get that from? Anyway, but like another good example is that one influencer, James Charles, who like, you know, got mad about that one Spirit Airlines employee who was like, sent him a message request. I'm like, first of all, why are your message requests open, you fucking pedophile? I mean, he's been out as a fucking pedophile, and yet he still has like a multi-million-dollar like beauty bar. Like, it's so funny. I'm like, that's because he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And the more you don't care, the less likely you could be canceled.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to, I mean, I don't know. It's like cancel culture doesn't even really exist. It feels like
exactly. It only exists for people who are willing to actually like apologize for like a minor inconvenience, and you know, you never hear from them again.
And but then people just make stuff up. Like if they can't find something to make you apologize for, now it's like with AI generated stuff, or like, you know, just they'll just make something up, like Hassan and like the shot collar thing. It's just like.
But ever since these two girls, like one girl, you probably follow her, or I share her videos all the time. She used to be anti-Hassan until she started like watching him, and so now she's clipping like longer form videos. And I've noticed, I'm like, girl, since you and this other girl are clipping all these longer videos of Hassan, the clip chipping like industrial complex against Hassan has gone significantly down. Like, I never see any like 5-second clip of Hassan out of context anymore, because these girls have been uploading these videos. I'm like, you guys are doing the Lord's work. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to use, like, I was just using that as an example of like.
I know, but like, there's a whole industry who does that though for us. Like, that's the problem, and it drives me nuts. It's like, this is what you spend your time doing, watching 8-hour streams and clipping like 2 to 3 second out of context clips. and then psychoanalyzing and putting stuff in reverse and slow motion. Like, it was just so funny that people thought that I'm like, that is not an abused dog.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I just feel like people could just like, and it's gonna get so much worse with AI generated stuff. It's like people are just able to like make stuff up. Like I don't know. It's like people are just able to like just if they don't find like a perfect example of this is the Epstein files came out, and there was the Zoran thing where people were just AI generating pictures of him with Jeffrey Epstein, and it was like,
yeah, here he is, 2009, a baby, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but Zoran Mamdani was like almost 20. I'm like, he wasn't born in 2008, y'all. He's like, and people still were believing it, or like him and his mother. I'm like, they've never hung out.
And then you end up spending so much time like trying to debunk things that are obviously false that like you lose sight of the bigger thing. And it just feels like a lot of politics is just that now, where it's like
the real stuff is bad enough. You can't be but you want to make a fake shit, and that's what people cling on to, what's not real.
But then there's no rules against it, right? Like it's not like AI is not regulated. Like there aren't like, I mean, even to the point where like people are making child porn online. Like it does seem like maybe that's a red line for at least most sane people. It's like, hey,
not MAGA, not Elon. I mean, Elon Musk. I mean, everyone's like, why is Elon Musk, molding about the Christopher Nolan Odyssey movie?
It feels like maybe that's one of like the points where like any normal person is like, okay, that's fucking disgusting.
Not maybe on Twitter though, because of Grok. Yeah. I mean, that's but what I was getting to is that because Elon, like we haven't heard much about Elon Musk in the media besides like the lawsuit in France about Grok AI and the child porn whatever that's being made with his AI thing. But now he's like, oh, Christopher Nolan's woke. He wants all these Oscars. I'm like, oh, I see what's going on. He needs the attention drawn onto something else besides the fact that he's partially responsible for distributing child porn on Twitter.
Yeah, well, there's always like I've always noticed that there's like multiple, like he has a different divisive issue at all times for each country that he's trying to like break into or do business with. Because for the longest time, he had this lawsuit going on in England. And he wants to get the Starmer government, which I mean, fuck Starmer, but he wants to get that government out. So he's been pushing all the Reform Party agenda stuff, and like he'll constantly bring that up. He'll constantly bring up like the grooming gangs, kinds of things. Like he's just a constant feed of misinformation and disinformation and whatever for people who are in the UK. And then in Germany, he's like supporting the AfD because I think he has business interests that he wants to promote in Germany and get a different government. So each country he has like his own series of divisive politics and disinformation things. It's almost like insane. It's like,
yeah, because everyone's like, whatever happened to Elon Musk? Like he used to be something because he actually had good PR who were like, if you're just like an acceptable, decent guy, that's good for business. But then he started taking ketamine and he fired his whole PR team, and now he is the man we know now, because he used to be very like, hey, we're pro-LGBT, pro-women, pro-whatever here. But now it's like, woke my virus killed my son. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, first of all, you have like 20 kids and you only spend time with one because he's literally named X. So there's that.
And I don't even know about if he spends too much time with that one anymore.
Yeah.
He's too busy spending time on X, the everything
app. Yeah, but it's just so funny. Like everyone's like, well, Elon has a point about the Odyssey. I'm like, does he though? I'm like, guys, most of the well-known like Greek, they're all fictional for one thing, and second of all, in old Hollywood, they were all played by white dudes with British accents. I do not think the Greeks were white people with British accents.
I just think we have to see the movie before we make any like.
It's a Christopher. You really think a Christopher Nolan movie is gonna be bad? It's gonna be a box office bomb. Like that's what they're trying to do. And it's just so funny. I'm like, dude, guys, Oppenheimer, he's not paying attention to like a quota or whatever. He just wants to hire actors that he knows and thinks are talented, actors that he's worked with in the past. It's not that deep.
He made Josh from Drake and Josh audition for his role in the movie.
This is
no, I don't know. I just it just feels like a culture for conservatives is like the last bastion of like a
because in the end no one really cares.
They want dominance, but I feel like all political dominance and all like it is like I don't know, it's a kind of a poison chalice, like at some point when you have dominance over everything, it's just and there's no world left to conquer or whatever. You're just left realizing like. Fuck.
Yeah, because like a lot of the conservative like anti-woke slop is like not doing well in views because everyone's like, oh my god, here's this dude again complaining about a black person in a movie what else is new? Like, I'm like, people are getting tired of that stupid slop because, again, same shit, different movie or different TV show. Like, people are tired of seeing these white dudes bitching about a woman and or gender swap, race swap. Like, people just are getting tired of like the same stuff over and over again. I'm like, yeah, it gets to a point where, you know, people are gonna get bored of that, and you got to find something new to do, and you're gonna have a hard time finding something else to capture an audience with because you made that your entire personality about like hating. You know,
I just want
people.
movies. I just want movies to be good. It's like,
yeah.
I don't really care like what the racial or like gender makeup of the cast is. I just, you know, but also like I was thinking about like every single time people are like, yeah, well, what if they did this with a character that's black, you know? And it's like, well, Othello, a million times they've had like a white guy play Othello. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's black. Like people are like, what? I'm like, yeah.
I mean, that's famously like Shakespeare's play with the black character, and like, you know, at the center of it. Obviously, he's got other plays with black characters, but like, you know, that's like one of the most famous ones. And it's like, you know, until I think 1820 or like 1830 or something, they didn't even have a black actor play Othello. Like that was like one of the first ones in it.
Yeah, it's just so funny too because it's like, you know, like Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet from 1996, very diverse. No one complained. The Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella with Brandy, Victor Gabor, and Whoopi Goldberg, and I'm like, and no one was bitching about like stop it. No one was bitching about you know, diverse casting in the 90s. It's like, this is not something that was invented in 2015. This is something that's been going on for decades. I mean, you could do The Wiz today because woke, like people forget like the all black Wizard of Oz and no one freaked out about it. It's
there are like there's a few roles from the 20th century of like white guys that like I feel like they did go too far and people started to be like, all right, like John Wayne playing Genghis Khan.
Yeah, but that was acceptable back in the day because again, there was really hardly any, you know, I mean, it was a thing. I mean, Natalie Wood played a mixed race girl in a black and white film because
I just feel like those are like these are just like cultural moments that are seen as like touchstones of like things kind of jumping the shark a little bit too much.
Yeah.
It's like Yul Brynner and The King and I. But other people didn't really mind that much. But it's like,
yeah, because I'm like, oh, but then when I found he was Russian, I'm like, oh, he's not even Asian. Okay, well, he could get away with it because it wasn't insensitive how he was doing it. Also, it's Yul Brynner; he can do whatever he wants. But like, it's just so funny to me because he did that up until he died. The King and I. It's like, oh, we're doing a revival of The King and I. We gotta get Yul Brynner. Like that was the whole thing. He did like 10 productions.
I'm trying to think of Charlton Heston playing a Mexican in Touch of Evil. That was another one.
Willem Dafoe. Remember that he did the. I was like, oh.
I love Touch of Evil, but it's like, but the whole time watching it, every time I'm just like, damn, that really is just Charlton Heston and brown face.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, or Mickey Rooney, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah, that is another one.
That is the worst case. It's like I can't watch that movie just because of him, and I'm like,
I mean, I like that movie, but yeah, it's like I remember it would be like
we've never done an Audrey Hepburn movie on Movie Night Extravaganza, have we?
No, we haven't. We should, because I named my dog after her.
Yeah, what the hell? What are we doing?
Because
what's going on?
Because I'm sexist. Apparently, I think women are dogs.
But like, I kind of hope that like once Trump's gone and all these conservative influencers and people have like nothing else to do because they've clung on to him and only him, and you know, there's really nothing coming about after that. Yes, we are Movie Bus. We host a little movie podcast. We had Adam McKay on for our third time.
That's the main thing we do.
Yeah, Movie Night Extravaganza, and he's trying to hook us up with Michael Moore. Our reaction to that on stream was so funny because we were like, "What?"
Yeah, it's like when we had Sam Cedar on, and in the middle of it, he's like, "I almost got H. John Benjamin to come on." And we were just like, at the end of it, we didn't even like comment on it at the time.
We were like, "Wait a minute." We were like, "What? That's cool though." But yeah, hopefully it'll get to the point where yes, we can have one like person of color in a movie again without people freaking out or whatever. Because it's like I remember with the Little Mermaid Discord, they're like mermaids are technically translucent, and I'm like they're invisible. I was like, come on.
The one I did kind of get sold on being like, all right, that is kind of crazy. Is Black Snape.
Yeah, because the backstory is like he gets hung from a tree by Harry Potter's dad, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And then Harry's like, there's just something about him I don't like. I'm like, they're gonna have to rewrite everything about Snape and those interactions for the show, because it's like that's the one that pissed me off. That's because like I'm like, but because of what happens to Snape in the story, it's like, oh, it's gonna be about race this time because it's no one can do like Alan Rickman, is all I'm saying. But it's just like, oh, that poor guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really feel any type of way about it, but at first I was like, who cares about Black Snape? Who gives a fuck? And then after like, after thinking about it for a bit, I'm like, all right, maybe Black Snape's a bad idea.
Yeah, it's just because of the story about what happens to him. Like you're gonna have to, and then again, I mean, fucking J.K. Rowling, Cho Chang, and Kinsley Shacklebolt, the only name for like the only predominantly like Black wizarding pure blood family. I'm like, that's not racist at all. Or Shafiq for like the only like Muslim Arab one.
She was not great at her name thing was not very good.
No.
I like how her one Irish guy was named like Seamus Finnegan, and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, Cho Chang. I mean, every time because the actress who played Cho Chang was on this past season of Bridgerton, and like whenever they ask her Harry Potter questions, she does like talking about it. I'm like, yeah, because she dealt with so much racism.
No, I don't know. Harry Potter was not a good book series. I was so proud that I read them though. Like
I never read them.
I read them as a kid, and I was like, oh, wow. But like I realized in retrospect, nothing I was felt proud of with being a kid and reading them had anything to do with the book itself. It was just like the length, the amount of pages that I was
it's like, oh, I read this big long book. Ooh,
yeah.
myself. And it's like, yeah.
Looking back on it, I'm just like, I think I liked that it was a big book and I could brag about it.
Yeah. Well, get back when you read.
Now kids today don't even know how to read.
Kids today are not even potty trained. Parents, what the hell are you doing over there? Like that? Did you read that story about the?
I did not.
So there's a few counties in California where it's like, in kindergarten, for those who don't know, like most kindergarten classrooms have their own bathroom. I think they all do. They don't have like every kindergarten classroom has its own bathroom because it's just a thing that they in schools. But like a lot of school administrations are noticing that these 5-year-olds are coming to kindergarten not potty trained at all. So they're requiring that, yes, if you're going to be going to a public school now, whatever, your kid needs to be potty trained. Because even 3 and 4K, they're also like, you got to have your kids potty trained. We are not nannies. We're not parents. And so parents are not, teaching their kids basic developmental skills they need in life. I mean, I knew someone who didn't potty train their son. Like, she's like, he's a teenager. He's not autistic, he's not special. She just never potty trained him. And so she has to, like, 14 years old, still wipe his ass and do all this shit. I'm like, why do you not train your kid out of
How is that not like abuse? Also, how did the kid not figure it out? All right.
Yeah.
There's too many questions. I don't know.
Because when I was young, because my mom was like, I would wake you and your sister up in the middle of the night, make you go to the bathroom so that your brain, because when you wake up in the middle of the night, your body does tell you like, oh, you gotta you're getting the bowel movement, you're getting this, you're getting that, you gotta go, So it's like there are people who are just not fucking, and I'm gonna say it. Younger Gen X, elder millennials are the parents who are having these helpless kids. Because you would think that COVID would have gotten these parents to like wake up and be like, I can't be just throwing an iPad in front of if you think AR kids are bad, wait. If you think iPad kids are bad, wait until these iPad kids pop out AI kids.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm like,
it's like I don't even like. It's just
parents are not teaching their kids anything. And I remember learning about Gia, the wild child, who was abused and locked up in her parents' basement, and they didn't teach her anything because it was like, is there a threshold where a person can't develop stuff and the memory and the whatever? Apparently there is, because like she has the mentality of like a 2-year-old, because that's how far she came without actually learning all the proper things as a child, because she was not potty trained, she was not taught to move, talk, do anything.
Yeah, well, there's that famous Herzog movie, The Enigma of Caspar Hauser, where he's like a kid that was raised in a basement for the entire time. And it's like, he comes out, he doesn't know anything.
Yeah. So it's just like, when I was in psychology, the psychology major me is getting kind of mad hearing these stories about how kids are not learning how to like talk and use the bathroom by themselves and stuff. It's like there are parenting books, okay? There are boomers suck, but God bless boomers for actually being like probably like the last generation to actually teach their kids how to do stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. It feels like it's that, like, at least not teaching your kid how to use the bathroom seems insane.
Yeah.
Is it just that they don't, like, how does that even happen? I don't get it.
They just don't. Parents are getting lazy for us. That's they're. I can't explain it because when I was reading the stories and watching like these local news stories, I was like, huh? And then you get people who like fucking hate teachers, and yet it's because teachers do spend more time with the kids than the parents. But still doesn't mean the teacher's part of the teacher's salary skill is teaching your kids how to potty train and wipe their own ass.
Yeah. Well, there's like I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of like the anti-teacher stuff has obviously been AstroTurf.
Woke.
Like, well, it's just been AstroTurf because like the Koch brothers for the longest time have been AstroTurfing like an anti teachers union movement. And it's like that's where a lot of the stuff kind of actually comes from. There's also always a fear that like, oh, well, your kids are not like right in front of you. What are they learning? Like, what if they're learning something that
they're learning the curriculum?
I think it's very easy to get parents all like riled up about that. Like,
yeah, we saw during the satanic panic daycare nonsense. A lot of people are like, why did that become a thing?
All right, I gotta get up and get this water. I'll be right back.
Okay, but my whole thing. Hello. So my thing is learning about like the child daycare stuff was a lot of mothers were entering the workforce and they were feeling very, very anxious about leaving their kids alone with strangers, like these daycare workers or whatever. So that was kind of like how it kind of developed into a weird like mass psychosis. I mean, it's a whole thing, guys. If you look up Michelle Remembers, which is a book that's supposed to be like a factual story about how a young woman went into therapy and like remember like all the stuff that happened to her, where her mom like did like child sacrificing to her to like a satanic sex cult, and then you realize that she and her then husband, who was her therapist, made it all up. It is crazy. It is crazy. I think there's a thing on Tubi about it, a documentary, but it's like it was just weird. It's just so weird. And there are still some people who are in prison today over what happened during the satanic panic daycare scandal, and it's like, but nothing happened. So why are these people still in prison over it? So it's just weird. Oh my god, my cat is driving me nuts. I'm spraying with water, dude. He is being so bad. So that's my whole thing about the satanic panic stuff. Oh my god.
It's like it's so fucking hot.
Yeah, it's so bad. Like, I live in an upstairs apartment, so it's like the sun sets every day, and it's like we have our AC at 68 degrees, and yet it's like 76 up in here. It's like it's crazy. I'm like, do we need like a new system? Because I don't like hot. If it's 70 degrees, I'm sweating like a pig. Like that's how like I'm very cold natured. I need to feel freezing cold because I clean houses where it's like muggy. Like they'll have the thing on at like 80, 82, and I'm like, and you bitch about like because if your house is hot, it's gonna be very easy for dust to collect and for like stuff to stick to surfaces and make it harder to like dust off.
Yeah. Well, during the like during the winter, or during the summer when it's like whatever, like we can blast the AC, but it's like it feels like it's getting like days like this, like when it's like in the 90s, are getting earlier and earlier every year, and it's like you can't just kind of like turn on the AC in the middle.
And then the summers are getting longer and longer. That you still need like the AC on until like November. Especially down here, at least. And
then oil obviously gets more expensive, like especially right now with the fucking Iran war. Like oil and gas are like the prices are like through the roof. So it's like if you want to heat your house or you want to like cool your house and you want to you're either using electricity and power, the power rates are going up, and or you're using
they did that to us. I mean, Dominion just got bought out, but they're also raising the rates by like $20, and it's like
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I don't.
My thing with like feeling hot, like, and yeah, I'm upstairs too right now. It's like because downstairs we still haven't gotten the floor in. It's been like a year, but it's hot up here. Downstairs it's like cool, and like
Yeah.
I'll be having a great time if I was down there right now. But
Yeah,
it's,
you should get one of those like miniature AC system thingies where you just put ice in it. Just feels like it's blowing cold air. I might
ice.
get one of
I'm
those.
not letting ice into my house. They'll take it away. Okay.
Yeah, we're not Abigail Spamberger. I call her Spam Burger.
Yeah, I always in my head that's what I always am like is Abigail Spamberger. But yeah, when it's hot, like I can't even think. Like my words don't even come out the right way. I'm just trying to get words out, and it's like I don't know. It feels like my head's swimming.
Yeah, I do not like it. Oh my God, some idiot tweeted, I'd rather vote for an APAC candidate than DSA and want at least one of those as a pro-American organization and it is in DSA. I don't think APAC is a pro-American organization, my dude.
Well, it's like they also have they have the fig leaf of they have like the basic fig leaf of like, you know, all their staff and the people that work for APAC are all American. So they're like, see, we're an American organization.
We're not a foreign agent. I'm like, imagine if Russia had its own APAC. You best damn know that they're going to label that as a foreign agent of some sort.
But they get to skirt around the rules just by that. It's like that small thing.
Yeah.
It's because the staff there are technically American. But it's also like you're allowed to have double like you're allowed to have the double citizenship. So you're allowed to be an Israeli American, and it's like oh, these are like concerned Americans. I don't know. It's just kind of mind blowing. You know what's crazy? The biggest Zionist organization in the entire country is Christian majority for Israel.
Yeah,
the John
like Jews for Jesus. Like everyone's like, is that not a sign? I'm like, it definitely is.
I was looking it up. Like and I don't think you're not allowed to be Jewish and join Christian majority for Israel.
No,
they're like because I like online. It was like I was looking it up. I mean, it was the AI overview, so I'm sure they have some technicality where they're like, oh, well, but they're like, oh, well, you're allowed to partner with us as a Jew. You could be a Jewish partner of Christian majority for Israel, but you're not allowed to join as like an official member. Of course, they also do the thing where it's like, if you ever go on their email newsletter or whatever, that they count you as a member. And it's like that's how you really like pad the fuck out of those membership roles.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like every year the Eurovision discourse starts up and it's like, why is Israel in Eurovision? They're a Middle Eastern country. I'm like, well, they can get away with it because a huge chunk of the descendants now that are in Israel or of like European Jewish or Russian Jewish descent. So they get the claim that they're indigenous to Israel, like Gal Gadot says, because everyone's like, what? I'm like, yeah, like I'm like, guys, you know, most of the people who live in Israel are not indigenous like Palestine. Like it's mostly, again, after World War II, a lot of the European Jews moved to Israel. So most of their ancestors, their descendants or whatever, are European descent. So like they can get away with it because they got European blood. That is the only
there's a lot of
non-European.
There's a bunch of non-European. Like if you actually look at who's in the Eurovision Song Contest,
it's so weird.
Turkey's in it. Morocco's in it. That's in Africa. Australia is its own fucking continent. You know what I mean? Like
and also too, Celine Dion representing Quebec back in the day.
They use I think they use the term Europe pretty Eurovision pretty loosely in this.
I forgot that's how ABBA got their start. Everyone's like, I didn't know. I'm like, ABBA got famous with Waterloo on Eurovision. And I'm like, they're probably one of the few successful Eurovision acts that went global because I can't really think of any.
Yeah, or that are
like else. And their whole thing is like cheesy songs, like with cheese. But I'm like, Waterloo's a good song with good lyrics.
It's also funny they let like Yugoslavia in like 1961, but then they didn't let Ukraine until like 2003.
That's right before things got bad. Am I right?
They put Israel made its debut in Turkey before Ukraine got to, or Albania, or well, I mean Albania I guess was just in Yugoslavia. It was like part, but like you know what I mean. Like there's each country is like it's just a weirdly divergent times. I wonder what you have to do to really like. You gotta grease some palms, probably, right?
Yeah, I like the movie that Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams and Dan Stevens did because everyone
I didn't see it. But
I watched it because it came like it was one of the first things that came out like during COVID or whatever, or like right before COVID or something like that. It was supposed to air like during the Eurovision contest, but then COVID happened, so it's like it got canceled or whatever. But it's a funny. I mean, they're thinking of making it into a musical stage show, and I'm like, that is actually a good idea. I feel like that's a good because it has.
And then Americans will find out, but Americans are going to start demanding to be in Eurovision, and then what would happen? Do you think if like we were like, all right, if you want us to maintain global,
we already have enough American competitions. We don't need.
I know. Well, American Idol. It's like the same thing.
But it has its own European and whatever. The Voice, the Masked Singer has all of its own, foreign spinoffs, which is so funny to me. That's like really that.
The Masked Singer. Welcome to the Masked Singer. The Masked.
In Israel?
I was kind of going for France or like welcome to the Masked Singer.
There you go. Be our guest. But our service do the test. But it's just so funny that we're getting to a point in Broadway where like we're adapting movies into stage shows now because we can't come up with anything original. And like Death Becomes Her is closing on Broadway. And I'm like, I thought that one would have been good to run if they did like proper stunt casting, but without the female leads who went viral on TikTok. They ain't doing too good. They did Beaches. And I'm like, really? Sinners. I keep saying Sinners would be a great stage show, I think. Good interactive, like musical time,
I when I moved into my apartment with my friend that's now like the mayor of our town, she had a Jacobin like she had Jacobins on her desk in there, and I could never tell if she was reading them right before it came, or like to look at the apartment at the time when I lived there for like a couple months, or if she had purposely just put it out to be like see I read Jacobin.
No, it's not like you work there or anything, right?
Yeah, but I didn't because I wasn't, I don't even think I told her what I was doing at the time. So it was like, I could never tell.
Yeah.
Then I was reading it and I was like, hell yeah.
Oh man, new Ashley St. Clair update. Apparently Hassan's gonna have her on the show.
Yeah, I saw that. I think I was
2 for 2 for Elon baby mamas. Everyone's like, Elon's gonna kill himself. I'm like,
I was thinking like, what if Ashley St. Clair had one Elon Musk baby and one Hassan baby, and it was like,
I mean, she has a kid with someone else, and I'm like, damn girl, because she keeps talking about her boys, and I'm like, who else did you have a kid with, woman? Jesus.
Oh, I think it was like a Nazi.
Yeah, I'm like, girl.
I think her ex-boyfriend's that DC Drano guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of funny.
But
finding love on the influencer space and the conservative influencer space.
Yeah, I feel like Grindr was specifically created for Republican events.
She went to she had a hotel room when she was first, like right when she first turned on Elon. It was like living in that like apartment penthouse thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And like she saw the TrueAnon thing where it was like Brace Belden. Brace Belden just kept replying to her, and then one day she went live and she had Brace Belden in her hotel room.
Yeah.
But
apparently, like Ashley St. Clair details were in relationship with Elon Musk got weird. I'm like, it should have been weird from the get-go because he was asking you to be like a breeder. But also too, some of these women, I feel like she and Tiffany Fogg were also like begging for his attention too. So
yeah.
It's like
she literally sought that out. She sought out being Elon's because she thought I'm not saying
why do they think that they can get? I'm like, have you not seen like this was also when Grimes was begging him, be like, yo, be a father or whatever,
yeah,
or you're like.
Well, because she thought she was going to get a big payout. She just picked the wrong billionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pick Tom Steyer or someone. I don't know. Like,
imagine she has Tom Steyer. That would be fucked. But no, she was like, I don't know. I think she was like she comes from like some weird background where it's like,
yeah, she came from like a very strong conservative. Like she's like Lila Rose or whatever. She was groomed to be this.
Yeah, but so it's like I don't know. It just feels like she thought she was gonna get a payout from the Elon Musk thing, but it's like you should have seen that guy's like whole thing and known that guy was not gonna. That guy was gonna do anything he can not to give you as big a payout as you thought.
Because her one chit-chat gave right with me or whatever. Ashley says Elon has another baby with a Japanese woman, is against immigration from a eugenicist standpoint. Tried to impregnate Tiffany Fong behind her back. How do you do that? You drug? Okay. And then told her to get a C-section so the baby would have a larger brain. Worked with Trump for weeks before declaring support for Trump because of the assassination attempt. We all know that. But it's like,
He was also doing a thing where he was like women that were interested in his comment. He was like sending it in the mail.
Yeah, she was saying that too. I was like, God, he's not attractive. His body is very weird.
But the thing is, that's the crazy thing is you don't actually have to even sleep with the guy. Like that is kind of
he's a virgin.
I mean, I don't know, but like he does it through like artificial insemination, and it's like I guess that's the hardest part, right? Would be to like
and he also
get yourself in the mood with Elon Musk. So it's like he's found a way to not even have he doesn't even have to put them through that. It's like
yeah, he also was telling her that we need surrogates to have babies to prepare for like the apocalypse or a civil war, and I'm like,
that's been his like ideological thing
for a while now.
Right? It's like it's like the birth rate.
You're like your dad, who also fucking hates you. Remember when it got revealed that he was also posting as his mom?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that. Like, I saw people posting on both sides of that. Like, that it was just maybe a typo, but I mean, it would be funny if he was just posting as his mom. But like, I don't know. It just Matt Taibbi is more embarrassing. I like that every time something happens that's like slightly embarrassing, or like that Matt Taibbi would need to comment on that. Like, I like that he disappears for longer stretches from Twitter, and then he comes back and he's like, oh, what's going on, guys? Like,
and then because
he lost that lawsuit, and he didn't even tweet for like a week afterwards, and
going about his business. Well, it's like Noah Samson getting sued by Ethan Klein. It kind of sucks that these people have to like do GoFundMe's to like, because it's like defamation for what?
Yeah, like
it's such a loose thing,
I mean, it shouldn't be like it's like. The whole thing is that in America, it's actually very, very hard to prove defamation, right? Like if you sue for libel in like the UK, let's say, right, which is how they have all of these. It's how they've had all of these successful like things where people either go to prison for speech or whatever. It really is they're going to prison, I think, for defamation a lot of times. And it's like it's very, very easy to apparently prove it. It's very, very easy in France, which is how the Candace Owens thing kind of happened, because the whole Brigitte Macron is a woman thing. There's a lawsuit in France that there was multiple lawsuits in France of like these yellow vest people that had said that before, and it got sued. Yeah. So Candace Owens was kind of just going through like their long because there's all these publications that kind of had said it like on the far right in France. So she's kind of lifting like ideas from that. But here it's a lot harder to prove defamation. It's like you have to prove.
Well, that's why a lot of people were like, with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, they're like, but that Washington Post didn't mention his name, and I'm like, she all but named him, talking about how she was abused by her ex. I'm like, who else was she referring to? And I'm like, that was a clear-cut case of her defaming him. Whatever you feel about it, it's like,
defamation is a legal category. So it's like, the two things you have to prove that the person had bad intent. So if you're trying to get information out there about somebody and you talk shit and you say something that's factually not true, you can say that your intent was not defamatory, right? Like that's already a thing that you can get away with. And then also you have to prove that it actually had some kind of material impact on.
Oh, it definitely impacted Johnny Depp's career. That's for damn sure.
But I will give it if you don't use the person's name, it's not, you can't get in trouble for defamation. It's like, because it's just a very specific set of circumstances that you have to prove. It's like, like if I went online and like made something up about someone, but I very, very hinted that it wasn't about, if there's any kind of legal doubt, if there's any doubt, right, like reasonable doubt that I could be talking about more than one person, or like it's you can't really sue for defamation.
Yeah. But
I do like that. I don't think anybody in Israel seems to really get that, because they're trying to sue. They're saying that they want to sue the New York Times for defamation. It's like, but on behalf of a country, for the dog raping story or whatever. They're like, we want to sue on behalf of a country. It's like, you can't, like, that's not something that you can do. Like, you could probably sue on behalf of an organization maybe, but it's like, even then it's like, it's supposed to be on an individual, I believe. Like,
yeah. But I will say this. I'm kind of glad.
Better about them.
I'm kind of glad, like, I will say this about like a lot of the dudes who got like Me Too. Johnny Depp did not go down like the conservative MAGA rabbit hole. Like,
I just never really heard about him ever since that. Like, I feel like that's the last time I really heard anything about him.
What? Well, he is doing a movie with T. West, another Christmas Carol like adaptation. He's doing like a documentary about like Tim Burton's career. I'm like, he's not like, that's why I don't think he did any of the stuff, because it's like he's not doing the thing that we know so many of these men who clearly did stuff do. Not working with the Daily Wire, like a Jonathan Majors type, or like, you know, a Brett Ratner type. It's like they're doing the thing that we fucking hate, is where they're grabbing towards like Trumpism and MAGA and all that, because he did make fun of Donald Trump for years, and that's why everyone seems to forget.
Well, there's like a thing right now where they're bringing back a lot of people that were like canceled, whatever that means. At like
James Franco.
I mean, Daily Wire was doing it with Jonathan Majors because he's like, you get someone who's like a very bankable star, right? And the bankable star or whatever, like, because they've been canceled, or because, you know, like the number one, you have to pay like a lot of liability insurance, which actually how they've gotten Kevin Spacey to not really be in movies. The liability payments are too high. But it's like you get people to so Paramount like has been hemorrhaging money with all of their acquisitions. Like the Ellisons have been hemorrhaging money, so they can't really afford right now to like hire as many people or as many stars for these movies, right? So they've been going after canceled actors, not only because obviously, like, you know, the Ellisons and Barry Weiss have like an interest in that, which I think they're pushing Barry Weiss out already.
I know, I can't wait.
But they also just, you know, it's like a financial thing, because it's like, well, this is like like some of these people are like A-list stars you can get for like a fraction of the cost because they've been canceled.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's why I'm kind of glad that, you know, that's why I'm like so really, because that one thing I was worried about, like, oh, is, you know, Johnny Depp or any actors going to do like a MAGA, you know, turn, and so far he hasn't, which is good.
I think he's too big of a star for that, to be honest.
Yeah, like I remember he was like doing the whole like, I will build a wall, and then he did like that Funny or Die video where he was Trump doing like the Art of the Deal documentary trailer, and I was like,
yeah,
oh damn, this is really
a lot of the
scary.
stuff is also just like, I don't know, I don't really like that. When it's something like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, we're kind of doing like a it's like we're litigating people's relationships out in public, and it's like every single time that, like, if you listen to anybody talk about like their ex, it's like you hear like the worst stories of all time. Like, I completely get it when it's like, oh, when somebody being like, you know, very very abusive, and it's like a court case that goes out in public, but it's like this feels like it's just a bad relationship that we're like litigating.
Yeah. And people were like, no, it was one-sided. I'm like, nah, they were.
I don't think anything is one-sided, really.
Yeah. It's like, oh, mutual abuse. I'm like, I don't think it was mutual abuse. I was just, they fucking hated they were not a good match. And there are people who are toxic towards each other. It's the thing that happens. I don't know why we can't admit that that's a thing in relationships.
Well, for a long time, I don't know. I'm not going to get into this. There's like a legal ramification to that too, where it was like, you know, the power differentiation between men and women in court, and what they could, like, for the longest time, it's like men could pretty much essentially get away with anything, and then there was a turning of the scales in the opposite direction in the 90s, because it was just very easy to get away with domestic abuse as a man for the longest time. But then courts rule that way, and then people take, like, I don't know, it's complicated. I'm not going to get into it because we only have like a minute left.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we are going to be covering on Movie Night Extravaganza, I Love Boosters, the new Boots Riley movie, next week. Yep. That should be fun. It's playing tomorrow.
Yeah. Yay! I'm excited. Can't wait.
Hell yeah. So yeah, we can cut it here. Yeah.
Yep.
I hope it cools down.
Yeah.